Welcome to the Redflex, the only channel in the world which is hosted by four brothers who all live in Manchester. So, the key question for today's win against West Ham is why are we so inconsistent during the same game? It is quite baffling, and we're going to try to have a look and analyze the game, see what we actually thought of it, and what improvements do we need to make, or whether or not we actually do need to make any improvements. So that's what we're going to look at today. So I'm joined today by Kasim. Welcome, Kasim, to the show.
I am happy inside. I might look and from the out, but I am happy.
You look absolutely dejected at the moment. It looks like we lost by your face anyway, but I'm sure there's reasons why you seem so unhappy. So let's start off with the starting lineup. What did you make of it?
I think the change in the goalkeeping position was probably an enforced one. Supposedly, well, I think Solskjaer confirmed as well that De Gea was still injured. So I was happy with that. I didn't mind Henderson coming in. He's looked assured. He's played well since he's come in, and it was a really good performance from him. The defense at the moment is kind of, again, picking itself. There's not many other options. Obviously, the real kind of controversy, you could call it, came in the midfield positions. Obviously, Donny van de Beek, even Paul Pogba and Scott McTominay. And I will get on to performances shortly. But I think for a lot of Solskjaer haters or critiques, we'll call them, they'll say, why did Fernandes not play? Why did Fernandes not play? But at the end of the day, he can't play every game. Solskjaer has to rotate. And we found out today that without Bruno Fernandes, we are an absolute disgrace of a side who can't do anything. We can't do anything without him. It's solidified today that before Bruno Fernandes obviously started with us, the kind of performances we used to see were
that's what we were seeing. Yeah, that's exactly what we were seeing before him, wasn't it?
So that's disappointing. Up front, I don't know how Martial got picked. I know it was his birthday. We wished him happy birthday on our Instagram account. However,
maybe it's a birthday present from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
Yeah, maybe something's gone on because he doesn't seem like he can kick a ball, control a ball. He can't do anything right now. And obviously Cavani was up front as well with Greenwood. So all in all, it was something that I think, apart from the Bruno Fernandes decision, you had to think it's probably the best team. What did you think?
Yeah, in regards to the team lineup, I'll actually get to that in a second. I've got interesting theory about Anthony Martial, why he's been so inconsistent this season. I think that because he knows Edison Cavani is a number 9 and his kind of place is under threat for him, if he's got that competition, I don't think it works for him. Last season, he knew it was just him and the main man. I think he needs to be the main man, and because I think he's quite mentally weak in my opinion, and he needs that kind of understanding from the manager that he is going to be the number 1, because he's not number 1, or there's a chance he may not be the number 1 striker. He's out of form. He's inconsistent. He's been moved to the left now, which in his head he's probably thinking, I don't have the confidence of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to play as a number 9. What's your view on that, Kasim?
I think under Mourinho, it came up quite a lot. Mourinho ultimately wanted to get rid of Martial, which then probably eventually cost Mourinho the job, coupled with the Paul Pogba scenario. Even when Zlatan Ibrahimovic joined, I think Zlatan took his number. I think that didn't go down well with him, and I don't think he performed that well that season either. So there seems to be a lot of things that point towards your theory actually being true, even.
Yeah.
But regardless of theories or analysis, the bottom line is his performances are not good enough. Not good enough.
Yeah, they've been poor. So, I mean, in regards to the lineup, I think understood, to be fair, why he made some changes. And if any other team had Pogba, Donny van de Beek in the team, nobody will be complaining. This is anyone in Europe I'm talking about, not just anyone in the league. So if you look at it on paper, you couldn't say it was a weakened team. But obviously,
it was a team that should have beat West Ham.
Yeah, of course. And then up front, Edison Cavani, I was happy with him being up front at the start. So I'm only referring to what we were given as the starting lineup. I wasn't unhappy with the starting lineup. And then let's just move on to the first half performance. I'm sure you've got a lot to say here. And I did have a look at your Instagram video, Kasim, as well. You were going all out on the United team. So do you want to give a little bit of insight into what you said? Because I don't think many people would have watched the Instagram video as of yet. So do you want to go into exactly what happened and what you said, in fact?
Yeah, so I think one of the main kind of messages that I was trying to get out with the video.
It was very passionate. It was a passionate video.
It was passionate. Well, I'm sat here. I woke up today 7:30, had to go work. The only thing that was getting me through the day was thinking, Man United are playing today. We're playing well, and it's something to look forward to. I sit there at 5:30. I watched the first 45 minutes, and it was an absolute disgrace from start to finish. It was a horror show. The defense was absolutely disgraceful. Tellez, probably the worst 45 minutes he's had. Maguire, Lindelof, all over the place. Wan-Bissaka give the ball away a few times. I think led to a one-on-one as well for Haller. The midfield, Donny van der Beek, not fantastic, but not poor. So I'm not going to criticise him. I thought Scott McTominay was really poor today, especially in the first half. Really looked like he was missing Fred. And then Paul Pogba, what gets me about Paul Pogba is it's the lack of effort, it's the lack of passion. He doesn't get his foot stuck in for tackles. When he gets the ball, he wants to start doing step overs. He wants to just slow everything down. Ultimately, we've seen him do a bicycle kick in the area for some reason. I don't know why I seen that. There was no need for that whatsoever. And it was so slow, so lethargic. And I was absolutely pulling my hair out, thinking, what on earth am I watching? It was complete garbage, complete, utter, disgusting performance.
Yeah, I totally agree. First half, that's probably one of the worst first halves I've ever seen, to be honest. Shocking passing from the usual people, including Aaron Wan-Bissaka, who I need to say who can't pass the ball forward. I think that's very clear. Alex Tellez, there's a lot of hype about him. Is he the real deal? I'm unsure. I'm still on the fence with him.
He's played well. It was a bad 45 minutes from him. Obviously, his mistake ultimately led for the goal. He just got stood there flat-footed, standing near Pogba. Maybe that what put him off, and they scored. So yeah, not a great half for him.
Yeah. Then also, if I break down what I thought first half, so I thought Donny van de Beek was okay. Nothing too good, nothing too bad. Unfortunately, obviously, he got subbed to make way for the changes that did work for us eventually. Martial, poor. Who else? Alex Tellez, as mentioned, I wasn't impressed at all. At the back, Harry Maguire was not being a leader first half. Just goes to show who is the real captain. Is it Maguire? Is it Fernandes? Who makes the most difference on the pitch? It's definitely not Harry Maguire. He wasn't able to organise the defence. He couldn't organise that defence first half. Everyone was probably looking for Fernandes. They were just very slow, expecting someone to make the movement, someone to tell them what to do. There wasn't anyone telling anyone what to do on the pitch. No, it was pretty poor. And then he made 2 changes. What were your view of those changes, Kasim?
I think Cavani and Van der Beek were very unfortunate to actually come off. I thought Cavani was doing well. At least he was showing a bit of fight, a bit of passion. He was pressing from the front, which not many people were doing. Donny van de Beek was most certainly not one of the worst players on the pitch. For me, I would have taken, obviously it's ended up ultimately, Pogba scored a goal, and what a goal it was. But in terms of performance, it probably should have been Martial and Pogba that should have come off, in my opinion, because those two were probably the main candidates for worst player on the pitch.
Yeah, 100%. Also, one more player I'd like to add to the mix in terms of the worst player, Scott McTominay. What was he doing? He couldn't string together 2 passes. Shocking performance, I thought. And even, I know you've said you weren't too pleased with Paul Pogba, but when you see Paul Pogba on the ball compared to Scott McTominay, it's a huge difference. Scott McTominay looks just like a Primark pound shop player, in my opinion. I know he's had some good games with Fred, but I don't think Scott McTominay would get into any top 4 team in Europe in the midfield. I don't think he's that good. He's just someone who comes off the bench. He's got a great understanding with Fred. He's had a few good games. At the moment, he's the player that gives the balance to the team. That's why he's in the team. I don't think he actually gives us anything other than he actually runs about, makes a few challenges. I know probably what I'm saying is quite controversial here. I know a lot of people probably do like Scott McTominay because he's got a bit of passion for the club. He's a local lad, but in my opinion, on the ball, he's not good enough. He doesn't do anything, in my view. What's your view, Gassim, on Scott McTominay?
I think Scott McTominay offers us something that should be the minimum requirement for a Man United player: passion, hard work, energy, dedication, and that's the reason why he's starting. If Man United were in a position where we should be, you should have all those attributes and then quality on top. But that's the damning state of our midfield, where if you just have the basics and the bare minimums, you're going to get in the team. Because Pogba, this is not about Pogba for me, but he's ultimately not playing, or he's not offering the skills and the know-how of that position. He's not playing how he should, essentially, in that position. Whether that's Solskjaer's fault for playing him there, or whether Pogba's not playing well, but he's not doing what he's supposed to be doing.
Also, yeah, on in regards to what you're saying, I 100% agree. I think it's to do with how fragile our defense is as well, where Solskjaer believes he has to play 2 holding players. I know West Ham have been in decent form, but if we were as good as we think we are, or hope to be, then we shouldn't play 2 holding players against West Ham, even if it's away from home. We only need 1, and in the past we've not done that. I know I'm referring to the past, which we probably shouldn't, because we're not the same team anymore. But we should need 1 holding player, to be honest, and all the rest should be kind of individuals who are very good on the ball, and that's not what we have at the moment. We have a lot of players who are just kind of there in the team, trying to keep us kind of safe and secure and compact from trying to stop the opposition. We don't have many players who can do anything on the ball. So just going forward, once the substitutions were made, we did see some huge kind of a huge difference. And for that, I think it's a 13-minute spell. We played some great football. Greenwood showed a little bit of quality, I think. In the game, he wasn't really doing much, as you alluded to as well. Paul Pogba, in your opinion, should have been off at half time, but then that's what Paul Pogba can do. And honestly, in my opinion, if it was between Scott McTominay in the team and Paul Pogba, I would rather have Paul Pogba in the team. I know you're saying he doesn't look like he's interested a lot of the times. It just, for instances like that, I know that kind of leaves us vulnerable at the back, but I think opposition teams would fear him being in the team and may become slightly more defensive as a result of that, or maybe open up spaces for other players because more attention would be going on Fernandes and Pogba instead of just Bruno Fernandes. What's your view on that, Gaston? Do you agree or disagree?
Unfortunately, I'm going to have to disagree with you on this one. And we usually be on the same page, so I'm disappointed with you. I think
it's a game of opinions. It's
a game of opinions. There was a stat going around on social media. I can't remember the exact percentages, but we've won more games without Pogba than we have with him. So I think that is an indication of how things are going. Yes, Paul Pogba is a much better player than Scott McTominay. However, we're not seeing it in his performances. In terms of ability, yes, Paul Pogba, there isn't even a discussion. Paul Pogba is better than Scott McTominay. However, Scott McTominay offers more for the team, as you said before, more for the balance than Paul Pogba. That was Paul Pogba's first goal since April 2019. April 2019. That is fair enough. He's been injured as well in that time. But for the money that we paid, the name and the value that he has is nowhere near good enough returns, in my opinion. And I don't think he should be in. He wouldn't make the strongest 11 in my eyes.
Okay, here's a question for you. So, would Paul Pogba improve Liverpool?
Would Paul Pogba improve Liverpool
or Man City or Chelsea? If he was transferred to those teams, or even Bayern Munich, let's just say, who are the best team in Europe, in my opinion, if he was there in that team, would it improve those teams?
Maybe, yeah. Most probably he will. But the problem that we have is we can't pick him because we think he's going to be better for someone else. But then in that same time, he does nothing for us. So I think there's a lot of factors. Paul Pogba obviously doesn't want to be there. Paul Pogba, up till probably not this season, but prior to this season, thought he's bigger than Man United. Man United are going nowhere. Now he's probably feeling a little bit of, he's probably even feeling to the point where he thinks maybe he's been overtaken, an ego thing. So I don't know what it is, but something isn't right. But to answer your question, yeah, he probably will improve all of those teams. But as of right now, our results are far worse with him in the team rather than out of the team.
Yes, we've got a comment here by Soom K, one of our regular viewers. McTominay over Pogba all day, so he seems to agree with you. Kasim. Pogba in the United shirt is horrendous. He doesn't play for the badge. McTominay does, hands down. Yeah, okay, he may play for the badge, but if we're going to be serious in Europe, in my opinion, we need to have players like Paul Pogba playing in the starting line. I totally understand your point of view, Kasim, but surely Ole Solskjaer has to find a way to get him in the team. If he's 100% motivated, Paul Pogba, and he wants to stay at Man United, which at the moment is, I understand, completely up in the air. If he 100% committed to Manchester United and we've seen a bit more passion from him, there has to be a way to get him in the team over instead of playing two defensive midfielders, which I can't see that working for us long term. If we want to be a big club, that's not going to work for us, in my opinion. I know, Gasser, you seem to disagree with that. So let's actually move on to the second half in a bit more detail. What do you think about our performance in the second half, especially considering you were very unhappy with the first half?
I think the first 5-6 minutes kind of followed the same suit. West Ham came out, they started strong, they played better than us, and I thought, here we go again. I thought I'm going to have to get another video started recording on for Insta. Unfortunately, for the viewers, they don't have to see another video of me. Paul Pogba, let's take away all my opinions of whether he should be there, whether or not McTominay should play. We'll take all that to one side. What a goal by Paul Pogba. That was something that he was known for back in his Juventus days. His ability to shoot from outside the box, his ability to score goals, his ability to score wonder goals. And that was an example of just that. However, we've not seen it. We've not seen it enough for Man United. Especially, it's been 4 or 5 years and we're still trying to work out where to play him. But like I said, fantastic goal. I thought Marcus Rashford was unbelievable when he came on. He came on and he changed the game. He was beating people for jokes. He should have probably had more goals. I remember at least one-on-one that I think it hit the post, if I'm mistaken.
Post, yeah.
Obviously, Bruno Fernandes came on and West Ham, they couldn't handle him. He had too much quality for him. He was putting passes through. It was all too easy for him. And it's probably a debate for another question, but the way things are going, we're going to be forcing Bruno Fernandes out of Man United because Bruno Fernandes is going to be wanted by Barcelona. He's going to be wanted by Real Madrid. He's going to be wanted by Bayern Munich. Would you blame him for wanting to leave? Because I don't think he's going to get the trophies that his
That he
performance
deserves,
is to do. So don't get me wrong, I want him to stay. I'll invest in a fund to get a statue outside Old Trafford for him. You name it, I'll do it. But Bruno Fernandes will leave Manchester United, and it'll be sooner rather than later.
I think at some point, if we are unable to convince him that we actually move in the right direction, for sure, I think he will consider his options. He will consider his future for sure, 100%. But yeah, those 13 minutes were excellent, and we seem to have a habit of doing it in kind of these kind of bunches and kind of just all together in a certain short amount of time during matches. But then for the other minutes during the match, we're just so inconsistent, and especially the first half, as we've discussed, we were shocking. I think Gary Neville was also saying he's never seen anything like this. He was a disgraceful form. Even Gary Neville, a lot of other people were saying this is an absolute disgrace. And West Ham were very, very unlucky to be only one goal up. And that's
Henderson. He slipped. I think, was it Bowden?
Bowen, I think. Yeah, Bowen.
Like Lionel Messi at times.
Yeah, Alex Telles was shocking against him. That was poor in the first half. He just like ran past him like he wasn't there. He just went the old inside out, shoulder feint in and went out. That was unbelievably poor defending. It wasn't great. And then the second half, once we got that third goal, obviously we knew at that point it was all over. West Ham were just completely deflated. And if they actually went for the jugular even more, I think United could have easily scored more. I think Greenwood had an unbelievable chance as well towards the end. He just completely miskicked it. Could have got the icing on that. Yeah, would have been the icing on the cake. A nice 4-1 win away from home. Would have been even now. I think with 3-1, I think we're quite pleased with that, considering what happened at half time. It's a win. A win's a win, I guess. We've got 3 points. That's what we needed. So I think I got another comment here that from SYG169. Agree. Pogba, apart from the goal, was rubbish. So everyone seems to be on your side here, Gassim, which is unfortunate for me. But there must be someone who agrees with me that Paul Pogba somehow has to get into the team. We need to find a way, as long as he's 100% motivated, which I agree is completely up in the air. I would like him to start, because after our lockdown period, we were great, and that was Paul Pogba and Bruno Fernandes playing. We only had one holding player. We didn't need 2 holding players, and I'm just referring to that. And it's not that long ago. Paul Pogba was really good at that point, but I'm not sure what's happened since. But I would like somehow that to come back. Not sure what needs to be done, what other needs to do, but I think it's purely because of our defense. But in regards to the game, we're happy with the win. Next game, unless Cass, you've got something else to say about the game, just very quickly, I'm going to start.
I just wanted to quickly add that it sounds like we're mourning and we've lost, but we're 2 points off top. I think Chelsea are losing. I don't know what their score is. I think it's 1-0 leads. So don't get me wrong. Man United are in a great position. Don't get me wrong. I am over the moon. There wasn't a person that celebrated the most when we won that game. But what I still fail to understand is how poor that first half was, and that's not acceptable. That's the message that I wanted to bring across. Yeah,
I mean, absolutely. That it reminds me of, in fact, the first half against Tottenham, or even spells within the second half against Tottenham. It was unbelievably poor. And just like Tottenham are a decent team, if we were playing a decent team in the first half, would have been all over. It could have been 4-5-0. Yeah. Just imagine in Europe, if we do get through and we face a big team and we actually put a performance like that in the first half, we will get absolutely slaughtered. Imagine if that was Bayern Munich. It'd be 6-7-0 at halftime. It'd be embarrassing, disgraceful.
I think it's probably more motivation, concentration. I think against the bigger teams, we seem to be up for it. And then any game that isn't a big game, we're just going through the motions, thinking, "Oh, we're actually okay now," and then it turns out that we're not. But yeah, we got the 3 points. It's Saturday. It's a day off.
It's a day off.
Life.
Well, yeah. In fact, one more question I've got for you, Gassim, in regards to the game. Yeah. This alludes to a comment that was made by Gary Neville during the game. He believes it's a mentality issue, and that kind of links in what you just said as well. Do you believe so? Again, against Istanbul away from home, it's not like we had a poor team out. Do you think it's to do with mentality? I think Jose Mourinho mentioned this as well during his reign at Manchester United. Is it a mentality issue? I think he mentioned it a few days ago as well. He had these issues with some United players playing in the Europa League as well, that they thought they were better than the Europa League, and it may be in the case against Istanbul, they would have thought they are better than Istanbul, so they don't need to perform at 100%. And that could have been the case again today away from home. Maybe they thought they were playing well, and because they normally win away from home, they don't need to play 100%. What's your view on that? Do you think there's an issue with the mentality of some players?
I think I would have to agree with that one, purely because you look around. If we go around the starting 11, our so-called strongest starting 11, you don't see many leaders out there. You don't see many people who are going to go around the dressing room and say, boys, let's do it. Let's focus. Let's keep going. The only person on that team that actually orchestrates the team and kind of, it's Bruno Fernandes from a number 10 role. He's telling people to press. He's telling people to drop. He's telling people to go here. He's telling people to go there. He's the only man. He is a natural leader. And in my opinion, he should be the captain of Man United. Mentality-wise, players like Martial, I think he's very weak-minded, like we discussed before. Players like Lindelof, Wan-Bissaka, they seem very quiet. They seem very reserved. I can't imagine them ranting and raving in the dressing room. Players like Fred, is he a leader? I don't think so. Donny van der Beek has just joined Man United. Obviously, Fernandes recently joined, but has shown that leadership skill. So it's a bit unfair to kind of make an opinion on him. Paul Pogba, I think everybody's seen his video for France at the World Cup. And this guy was, the man. He was the main man for France. He was dictating, that dressing room talk with his teammates. But I don't imagine that he does that for Man United. Whether or not it's because he doesn't want to be there, that's a separate question. But I don't think there's enough leaders, and I definitely think there's some games where mentally they can't get up for. And at Man United, that's not acceptable. You have to win every game at Man United, or it's you lose a game at Man United, and it's basically the end of the world.
End of the world. Yeah, end of the world. You have to win every game. West Ham we're actually, they're in a bit of form. They won 3 games in a row. But West Ham away, yeah, it should be not an easy game. But if we play even 80%, 90% of what we're able to, that's a win in the bank. First half, though, didn't look like we were going to do that. So, yeah, got a comment with kind of links to what you were saying and what we should be doing, actually. We should not be knocking. This is Sumke, why are we knocking? The Reds are marching on. Just like you said, Kasim, we're not that far off the top of the league. Imagine if we started off well the first few games, you actually would have been top because we lost so many points at the start. We actually would have been top. And then even then, there's still would have been people saying, oh, we're going to Solskjaer needs to go. We're not playing good enough. These players are not good enough for Man United. So whatever happens, I guess just that we are as well. I don't think you can always please everyone. But I think we've got every right to have a go at that performance in the first half. I think everyone who's going to watch this as well will totally agree with this. First half is unacceptable. Something must have been said. I'm hoping Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did that team talk during halftime. I would hate to think it was somebody else because he needs to be the leader. He needs to stand up and make that happen. So just very quickly, I know we're going to do a preview for the Leipzig game. Just really quickly, what's your views on the Leipzig game and who should start based on what you've seen today?
I can't 100% confirm it, but whilst watching the game, I think they kind of said Leipzig were beating Bayern Munich 3-2.
So I don't know what happened at the end, to be fair, yeah.
I'm not sure what happened, but that kind of tells you what kind of team Leipzig are. And that also tells you what kind of performance we put in to beat them 5-0. So it's going to be a very difficult game. And for that reason, I think we will see... actually, we might not, because I think Fred's suspended He is suspended, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he is. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure, but I think he is. Yeah,
we're going to see McTominay and Pogba again with Fernandes in midfield, and I think Cavani will probably get the nod.
Matic, is he injured? Matic?
I don't think he's injured. No.
Yeah, so I mean, instead of Pogba, it could be Matic at the start just to keep it solid because he's a lot better on the ball than Scott McTominay is. So it could be McTominay and Matic, or he even may go 5 at the back. Who knows? Who knows? But that's something we can discuss during the show. Do I think anyone's done enough to get into the team based on today's performance? You wouldn't normally know. So I think he's going to go with what he's usually been going with.
Have they done anything to get out of the team? Absolutely, they have.
yeah. There's some like there are some players who shouldn't really be in the first 11. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, for example. We don't have anyone else really. Martial shouldn't be in the team. I think Edison Cavani, hopefully he's not injured. I'm not sure why he went off. Was it just for tactical reasons or was he injured? I'm not sure. But we need him to lead the line. Rashford's going to start again on the left. But again, we will go through that in more detail. I think our game's on Tuesday, isn't it?
Yeah,
so
Tuesday.
So there will be a preview on Monday, and we can discuss that in more detail. Is there anything else you would like to add, Kasim? Because I know you like to plug the viewers to subscribe. So I would like to hear promo from you, Kasim.
You want to hear a promo?
I want to hear a massive promo to get the viewers to subscribe to this amazing channel.
Well, it can be called a promo, but it's coming straight from the heart. So I'll give you some real talk. So we wanted to start this channel so we could show everybody, A, how much we love Manchester United, and B, we wanted to give other fans the platform to express their love for Man United as well. There's plenty of channels out there. We won't name them, but it seems like the engagement can be better, and that's where we think we can kind of, we could say, spot a gap in the market. But if you want the best experience when you're supporting Manchester United, if you want a channel that wants maximum engagement, then the Redflex is the channel for you. Please subscribe, engage with us, and make the Redflex the #1 Man United fan channel in the world. Let's do it together and let's get this going.
Absolutely amazing, Nick. Yeah, I completely agree with that. We would love to, if anyone is watching right now who hasn't subscribed, please do so. It will mean a lot to us. It will help our channel grow, and hopefully we can bring you some amazing content in the future as well, which will keep you engaged, and hopefully we can try to build that community that we are aiming to build here at the Redflex. So once again, thank you for watching. This is the Redflex, the only channel in the world which is run by 4 Manchester United supporting brothers who all live in Manchester. We will see you on Monday for our preview show.